Hi you guys, so today I am going to be reviewing a fairly new product. It's not brand new, but it's only been out for a couple of weeks, and that is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation, also known as just Dream Velvet, to keep it short and easy. They put such long names on these products now, it's just keep it simple. But anyway, I wanted to do a demo and review of this foundation for you. Now, this isn't first impressions. I have worn this before because I believe to do a full review, you really need to try out the product beforehand. Don't get me wrong, I love doing first impressions, and to me, they work great on certain things that you can kind of tell right away whether it's going to be a good product or not a good product. But with foundations, things like foundations, mascaras, lip products, usually it's best, I found, to do a full review because something that initially looks great can look awful in a couple hours, or it will oxidize funky, or things like that. So I really wanted to try this first and then be able to give you guys a full review on it. So the shade that I found that matches my skin the best is number 20, Classic Ivory. Now this is just a teensy touch dark for my skin, mostly because it's the middle of winter and I'm very pale right now, and also because they have a much bigger range of color foundations than you normally see in an initial launch. Mind you, for example, my Target only has like 10 of the shades, but then I went to a CVS a couple weeks ago and found that they have like, I want to say 15 to 20 at a minimum. Like, it gets really light. I believe it goes up by fives. Like, I think the lightest is 5, then you have 10, 15, and then 20. So this is actually the fourth darkest shade. It's not the very lightest, because normally I'm either the second or third lightest in any foundation, and this is the fourth. But typically anything named Classic Ivory will work for me. So I am trying this on, and I'm going to be pairing it with my Instant Age Rewind Concealer, just because it's a product I've known and used before. I already have my eyebrows done, my eyes, and my lips. The only thing that is on my skin is my moisturizer, and I probably put it on about an hour ago, so it's had a good long while to soak in. I didn't want to use any primers, any pore fillers, anything like that, or any products that I haven't used before, because I don't like affecting demos by using a ton of excess products, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to start by applying this. You get 1 fluid ounce, which is typically how much you get in a foundation. And I love the way this is packaged. Very neat, very clean. And it's a very good price. I want to say it's right around $10, which is very reasonable. And I like applying this with a buffing brush. You can also apply it with a beauty blender. I haven't tried applying it with my fingers just because I'm not the biggest fan, or either that or I'm not very good at applying foundations with my fingers. So I just start out by putting a little bit on the back of my hand and just pick up a little bit at a time. And I'm going to do this side of my face first. That way you can compare it to this side. So you can see it's just a tiny bit dark and a tiny bit yellow for my skin tone, but not in a way that is even noticeable once it is fully blended out. Alright, so here it is. It is on this side of my face. So you can see it really does a great job. Very, very good at hiding the redness, the uneven coloring, any broken capillaries or anything in my cheeks. I have just like one or two teensy tiny ones. It covers those up beautifully. I have a few acne scars back up in here and down here, and it covered those very, very well. So coverage on this is actually amazing. I wouldn't say it's a full like cake level full coverage foundation, but it's definitely a medium to light full coverage, if that makes sense. If you had like massive amounts of rosacea or massive amounts of scarring, of course you'd have to pair that with a correcting primer or concealer or something like that. But for my skin, which all things considered is pretty good, you can definitely see a huge difference between the side that is not done and the side that is done. And once it's blended out, it does match into my skin tone very, very well. So I'm just going to quickly apply some concealer on this side. I'm not taking this down onto my cheeks or anything. Just keeping it right under my eye for now because I don't want to affect how the rest of the foundation looks. And just get that pesky little circle covered up. Now, I'm not going to powder this because on me this dries incredibly matte. I have naturally oily skin, but it's been very, very dehydrated lately and a little bit drier than normal just because of various issues. But this sets very, very nicely and very, very matte without any powder on me. Your skin may be different. So if you're a little bit drier, you may want to add more of a moisturizing primer. If you're more oily, you might need to powder on top of this. But I have worn this all day before. For about 8 to 10 hours, and I haven't noticed any need to powder. After about maybe 6-7 hours, a tiny touch up might be needed, especially if you're like I'm constantly touching my face, I'm eating, I'm drinking, all those kinds of things. If you're highly hands-on with your face, then you might need to touch up after a few hours. But if you're not highly hands-on with your face, you're probably going to be good to go with just this. So I'm going to do the rest of my face just so you can see how it looks all put together. I just want to point out I have a pretty bad acne scar right there, and it just covered it up amazingly well. Alright, my whole face is done. I'm just popping on some concealer now. One thing I have noticed about this foundation that is really impressive to me is how well it fills in my pores. Now, typically if you have larger pores around your nose or under your eyes, you kind of dread foundations that will sink in because they'll make your pores look larger. This one kind of fills in your pores and covers up blackheads. Like I can look at my nose and it does not look like I have pores or blackheads or anything funny on my nose at all, which I definitely do. I have a lot of them. But it fills in and it just covers so beautifully. I've also noticed I do have fine lines on my forehead. It doesn't crease or cake in them at all, even if I don't set it with powder. You can see pretty much everything is very well covered up. My skin looks matte, but it looks luminous as well. And I am just a huge fan of this foundation. I mean, Maybelline, guys, you hit the nail on the head with this one. I love it. huge fan. Amazing, amazing foundation. I'm very impressed with this. I'm very impressed with the price point for what it is and how it functions. The wear is excellent, and I would definitely recommend giving this a shot. Like I said, they do have a huge range of colors, even for us very, very pale girls, which is a huge bonus. And I just love the wear and the coverage and everything about this foundation. So if you haven't yet, I would definitely recommend giving this a try. And if you have tried it out yet, let me know what you think of it down below. If you have super oily skin, super dry skin, if you've had trouble finding a color in your range, anything that I haven't covered that you may have noticed about this product, I would love it if you'd let me know down in the comments down below, because I want to know what you guys think of it too. So I hope this little review and demo was helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. You can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I am pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!